There's been numerous articles written about how to identify aquatic vegetation and the largemouth bass's fondness of the diverse greenery. Nonetheless, in this series of videos, I'm going to provide you with a bass eye view of the various plants, along with my recommendations on how to fish them effectively. Each type of vegetation provides opportunities for anglers, and knowing how the plants grow, how the fish position in and around each, and what lures to present will ultimately make you a well-informed grass fisherman. Water milfoil. Although there are several species of this freshwater plant, we'll narrow it down to two categories: native and non-native. Eurasian water milfoil is a prolific, non-native aquatic plant, which was once commonly sold as a popular aquarium plant and was accidentally introduced to North American waters many years ago. Considered invasive, it has since aggressively spread throughout lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across much of the United States. A key factor in Eurasian milfoil's success is its ability to reproduce through stem fragmentation. All it takes is a single plant fragment like this to start a new population. When it settles, the fragment will root in the lake bottom, then grow rapidly in columns, creating dense beds from the shoreline to depths of approximately 15 feet, depending on the water clarity. Understandably, recreational boaters, water skiers, and swimmers despise the dense aquatic growth. And as a lakefront homeowner myself, I share the opinion that the impenetrable beds of the exotic plant are a deterrent to those type of activities. With that said, from my fisherman's standpoint and from my observations as an underwater videographer, when present in a body of water, the dense, lengthy stems of Eurasian milfoil are an undisputable largemouth bass magnet. Milfoil beds that we come upon underwater appear to be as if they were their own distinct ecosystem, an oasis, so to speak, providing a habitat preferred by not only largemouth bass, but an abundance of baitfish and bluegills as well. Native water milfoil does not grow as aggressively and impenetrable as its non-native look-alike, and can usually be distinguished by counting the pairs of leaflets. The leaves on native water milfoils have 10 or fewer pairs of leaflets, whereas Eurasian water milfoil typically have 12 or more leaflet pairs. When it comes to lure presentation within any aquatic growth, it simply depends on vegetation depth and its density. Native milfoil and early growth of the Eurasian variety is sparser, making way for an assortment of horizontal presentations. Hollow-bodied frogs are a clear choice for working over the grass, as are spinnerbaits and buzzbaits. A weightless soft plastic jerkbait is another productive option. When fishing the milfoil beds, you want to target the outside edge, the inside edge, as well as the open pockets within. Now by mid-summer, Eurasian milfoil, as it continues to aggressively grow, the columns of vegetation eventually entwine on the water's surface, creating a canopy-like structure. This mat often promotes the growth of slimy pond scum, which further congests the mat to where it's nearly impenetrable. Under these conditions is one of my favorite times to target the milfoil. Our underwater observations have revealed that the active bass will often position just under the mat, and the sedentary fish will hug tight to the bottom at the base of the milfoil. It's at this time you want to break out the heavy artillery and punch through the mats using a hefty weight, a stout flipping rod, and 65-pound test braided line to winch those fish out of there. The 4-inch Yamacraw. That's a nice fish. And to horse them out of there, you gotta have that 65-pound smackdown braid. Nothing less than 50-pound. That bait falls and the legs are moving like crazy, which attracts them. It hits the bottom, and as soon as I pop it up, boom. That's right on cue. But yeah, he jumped right on. That 4-inch Yamacraw. Undoubtedly, that's a pattern that will produce some of the biggest fish in the lake. But you need the matted milfoil to make it work most effectively. Unfortunately for us fishermen, the use of herbicides is frequently used to suppress the growth of the prolific plant. So, is Eurasian water milfoil a friend or a foe? I suppose it depends on what side of the fence you're on. Truth be known though, when it comes to this invasive weed, there can be too much of a good thing. But if it's available in the lake you're fishing, I emphatically recommend you don't pass it up.